My ideological path is to create a social and a cultural and environmental change using an artistic expression that dismantles the current architecture and is able to bring it to its main origins. In fact, it is to reclaim awareness, to produce a harmony with the environment through the proper use of natural resources and the most important to value the natural cycle of nature. During these difficult times, architecture has become a lethal weapon to carry out an ideological and political and segregation talks. Example, Trump's wall, Berlin Wall, and the Nazis concentration camps. In my first semester, I focused on architecture as an instrument of protest, in which is based on several physical experiments in order to make an apology of a radical change in a modern architecture. The purpose of this experiment is to reflect the little harmony and empathy of our society or certain groups regarding the racial and social inequalities. During the first semester, I developed an approach based on this topic that I call Living a Distorted Reality, in which I use a virtual images as a part of the architecture expression to convey a subliminal message to achieve a social and political changes. In fact, these images will rise to a virtual atmosphere parallel to our reality, creating a volume, shape, and a location within a space set by the user. During this process, I create a symbolic representation of my suffocation apparatus, in which it was composed of multiple layers that symbolize deforestation, segregation, and suffocation in these quarantines. By creating my apparatus, I was able to develop a visualization of the parallel world in which many of us live, where equal rights are differing, creating a wonderland for people who have power, a nightmare for people who are poor or belong to the minority groups. In this final part of my study, I focus on how modern architecture is absorbed by globalism, generating a mutation in its origin and distorting the purpose of which the architecture was created. The architecture was created in its origins to protect human beings from the environment and predators. However, in these times, it is the environment that needs to be protected, and now the humans are the predators. It is evident that humans are abusing the natural resources and at the same time not respecting the natural cycle of nature. The idea is to raise awareness by using the food in a very different way. As everybody knows, the food that we see in the supermarket is already packaged and wrapped, turning into a customer item, and the product is no longer an animal. In this experiment, I wanted to use this eatable item in a different form, giving a use that even his own creator hates or repels. My purpose is to generate another perspective of seeing things by using taboo as a basis and discuss as a force to stop animal abuse. As the end of my project, I create this character as a visual representation of modern architectural dilemma, creating a story in which the characters are product of the deformation while implementing this modern architecture. The story begins when these characters are in an internal search for the reason of their existence, showing that modern architecture is devoid of feelings and it is only an appearance of power.